married to an abusive man. And so I went through working with a psychologist to not heal the marriage, but to find my identity, because I had lost my identity with the type of abuse.
I think that happens to
a lot of women. And so once I found my identity and more of the spiritual energies were available to me, then I really realized the very first thing I wanted to work with was working with women who don't know who they are and have suffered some kind of loss. And this year, I should say, this year, I graduated certified in hypnotherapy and found that my psychic abilities mixed with hypnotherapy and NLP were opened
what is
up.
that, neuro-linguistic programming?
Yes,
Some people might not know that.
Opened up new ways in which to approach the process. Because if someone doesn't trust you, you're wasting your time.
That's
if
right.
they can feel you and they can feel that you really care about them, there's an energy that they get on their heart area. There's an energy that vibrates, and sometimes it runs through their entire body and tingles. And I tell them many times when I've spoken to them that within a certain amount of time there's going to be, and I give them a time frame, there will be a confirmation. Sometimes the confirmations have been physical marks. Okay. Sometimes it's been the people.
On what you've told them.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I have to trust what comes in here for me to relate, and yet at the same time, I have to discern, is it appropriate feeling what I'm feeling for that person? If someone's very ill and they don't know they're ill, then I'm not going to say much to them about that except to get them to a doctor.
Right.
Casually, not overreact, but
don't get them upset or concerned.
Give
or
them
worried.
choices. Give them give them options. I can see. I see a lot of allergies. I see a lot of disturbances in the chakras themselves. I see color fields around the auric field around their bodies that communicate with me.
That's the medical intuitive part.
Yeah, exactly. So it's what do they need?
You know what I think so good about you, Badeish, is you were born with this ability, and a lot of psychics out there are, but you've taken it, besides going through, these life experiences which you bring to your work, you've also continued to get education. And I think with the neuro-linguistic programming, that's what you're talking about, is relating to that person so they have empathy and trust for you. So you've brought a lot of your talent and also your education to the kind of work you do.
Well, I started working with colors as a library of information that worked psychically with me. I worked with numbers. I worked with...
How do you work with colors, if you don't mind me interrupting? That's kind of
colors
interesting.
Colors are code.
And colors are vibration.
You see me, I'm sitting here in a
I
code
know
today.
it. I'm yellow. What does that say today? Just for fun, let's play.
Well, yellow says you're going to be playful, but at the same time, you're going to be focused. Your energy is focused.
I feel really focused tonight.
Yeah, I know you
because I
do.
completely changed my spiel here. But I'm enjoying it because it's so relaxing.
I want you to enjoy this.
Yes.
Why do this if we can't enjoy
have fun,
it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So use colors as a tool.
Well, the colors are the colors of the chakra system.
Yeah, that's
and,
right. And the 7 energy centers in the body.
Exactly. And then there's the sound. Color shows up in sounds. And yet most people don't understand
I read that.
that they're listening to colors, frequencies in sound, and there's certain voices that have a color and a tone in them that just feels like nails on a blackboard, and it actually brings up negative emotions. And then there's other voices that you can hear, like for me it's Josh
Groban. Oh, my sister loves him.
Well, his music goes through me. So if I want something that's going to lift me and dust me off and and make me feel more grounded and more empowered, then I know the sounds and music that really help my physical body, and I know the sounds to stay away from.
And we're all different.
And I have to walk away from sounds that do not complement my field. And it's the same thing with what I see on television. Someone was over at my house recently and they said, oh, you have to watch this series that's on television and it's on Sunday nights. And I said, well, what is that? And they said, it's called True Blood. And I said, well, what's that about? And they said, well, it's about vampires.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
I can't do anything with violence. I can't do anything with horror. And this person is a person in my life that I didn't really understand what it is that she was trying to introduce to me, and it came on. She had to see this thing, and I was good for 5 minutes. It was so incredibly dark. And people don't realize what it is they're taking on in the field, and you're seeing it visually, and you're getting it,
Yes.
and it's in your field. And if enough of that kind of field is going on in your home, then you'll find that the frequency in the home goes down lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
Versus,
Which is sad, because that's what a lot of kids are watching. They're listening to that
they don't
loud
understand.
They don't understand. We've
They
got
don't
to
understand.
set an example. You know what I watched Sunday night?
What?
I watched Merlin, because I love magic. It appeals to that side of me, although
Yeah.
it did have a little violence, but
Nothing like
nothing.
what I just said.
No, but I know, I understand exactly what you mean. I can't watch any. I
would
like
have
scary, but I don't like violence. I like
I would have
suspense.
classified that as XXX.
What's wrong with
for
Alfred?
everybody.
What's wrong with Alfred Hitchcock? I mean, he had scary, but not violent. It was
No,
more
this is-
psychological.
This is
Yeah.
this is pornographic
Yeah.
type
Well,
of television, and I believe it was on HBO, and I was so shocked because I thought HBO was more of a family channel. That's not anymore. It's all very.
Yeah, it's sad
my
because-
experience with it has been dark. You know.
And the kids can get on any channel now, so that's
Yeah.
another story.
Yeah.
But you have had a lot of training. Now, how have you translated this? You do workshops, you do lectures, this is interesting because you can have a person come to your house and you can do readings for them there, but some people don't realize this. You can read over the phone, and that's because everything is energy.
Yeah, I used to read. I used to be on radio in several different places in the country where I was traveling and teaching for years, and I'd go on the radio and they would anticipate me coming in, so I would be talking to, it wouldn't, you know, I'd be on the radio for an hour and I would be talking off just their voice, and it was very exciting because it really stretched me because there was nothing. I had to go to that place of really listening to the voice, which brought me color patterns, and those color patterns told me kind of where their self image or their own sense of self-worth was, and the subject that they were bringing up. And so really it was very therapeutic because the way it was done and the sound that happens through my voice would make people feel like I was just talking to them, and they were sitting in a car, maybe in a parking lot, listening to a show, but it felt like I was talking to them, according to what I was told.
Now, do we want to talk a little bit more about your training? I think, or should we go on? Because I wanted people to know, you know, why would they come to you? What kind of work? How can you help them and empower them? The kind of work you do.
Well, my work is about empowerment.
Yeah.
It's not. I think I'm entertaining. But I don't like to do it for entertainment purposes. I could have done that a long time ago. And, you know, I had a drop-in from Mae West when I was about 39.
A what?
She dropped in and said,
wait a minute. I get it now. The energy of Mae West dropped into you. Okay.
Unexpected.
See, when you're talking to a psychic, you got to get up there with them. I mean, sometimes you lose me.
Well, that's one of those life experiences you never forget, because for 20 minutes, I was in the red zone, and I sounded like her, and I walked like her, and she was trying to make a deal, and I felt like I was making, I would never make a deal where my soul was involved, and it really was all of the seduction of where I could go and how much money I could make and how funny it would be, and it would have been, but it wasn't what I was called to do.
Okay, so this was like what you're saying. In layman's terms, it was like if I would be tempted to use a talent I had in a different venue than what I really came to do.
Well, it might have been entertaining, but I have a feeling that it would have taken my life force to hold her frequency, which was really a deep, bright red. It's root chakra, that's sexual energy, and God knows what would have come out of my mouth if I had been channeling her, and she made sure that I was aware that she was present, because for 7 days